a bit colder out here, but yeah, it feels different when the roof's off and the gone in there.
Yep. Big storm heading towards Florida.
Oh, is that what you were watching before?
Yeah. Doesn't mean it'll hit, but it may.
It's not good. Oh, that's a bit better for me. No, that's a bit colder.
Beef stew's nice.
Is it?
I'll make a little tub up for Em to take work Monday. Did she bring the other containers back?
I know.
A lot of it was not a bad day tomorrow. Might take those chops and sausages down the park, see if Em and are going to come down.
Yeah, I can see what they're doing. It's Father's Day.
That's why.
This depends. I don't know what she's got planned. I don't know if Mark's working.
Sunday.
Sometimes he does shopping centres.
That's the little ridge of the pipe there, isn't it, that was sitting up before? Or was it further over?
I don't know actually. No, I think it's further over.
At least it's not raining.
Is there local elections or something coming up?
Be council elections, I think.
Yeah, because one of my sites are going, all of a sudden there's all this...
Political?
Yeah, like, hey everyone, my apologies.
But for me...
Kicking off the local government elections in Bassendean. That's the only time they post on our site. But they don't, when there's concerns, you know what I mean? You hardly see them. I just saw a white Commodore mentioned in a post refer break-ins in recent days. Ah, is that a Commodore?
Yeah.
It's been going on for a week and was followed closely by a similar white car. All around Bassendean and Eden Hill, which is across the railway line.
Yeah.
It's been reported they've been trying to get into houses, even with people home.
Well, I'll just have to bring out the shotgun and welcome them.
And then you got somebody, how stupid is this? This is a female. Hi, I've just recently moved into blah blah blah. She's put street name and everything. I'm living alone. My partner did not move with me. What's the security measures can I take? For a
Well,
start.
one, don't tell them that you're a single female at home. You stupid woman. Crazy.
I mean, the world's just not like that anymore. I mean, they're pretty brazen. Somebody, they were watching TV in their house. People broke into their home. Obviously, wherever they put their car keys, they didn't realise the car keys got stolen. So, obviously, they had a spare set. They moved their car in a position to block it in. The assholes came back. This is what she written. Tried to steal the car and got it wedged on blocks because they tried to drive it over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and people are stealing mail again.
Oh well, let's keep an eye out for them. That's all you can do. I don't know if I'm even live actually. I never know with this thing.
Oh, I'll check in a sec. I'm not on there yet.
It's not that cold really, is it?
No.
It's not too bad. Like a few of the channels I have been watching, I just haven't been getting notifications, and you find out you're not subscribed.
Yeah, and then you were subscribed. Yeah. And then
If you don't sort of, wonder why has it been so long since you've seen a video, and you notice there's been 4 or 5 videos they've done, but you haven't seen them.
I've had the same thing, and I've had to go and subscribe again, or I've had to unsubscribe and resubscribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did that the other day. Remember, it was Stella's channel actually.
Yeah.
For some reason, I wasn't getting notifications, then I realised I wasn't subbed.
But you were subbed.
I was subbed.
Yeah.
So YouTube must unsub you for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, it could be. I mean, nothing's perfect. YouTube probably has glitches as well.
Yeah. I saw Aki did a video.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
So is it on?
I was looking at the chair.
No, don't do that. Just,
I don't want to go too far back.
yeah, mine's taken as well. It's just because he's been through here with the bobcat. Soft.
Oh, that's better.
See, mine's gone down 2 or 3 inches.
I can see how you're
I
sitting.
look like a little Japanese boy sitting on a stool.
Your knees are going to be up around your neck in a minute.
Yeah, it's alright. Hello, boss. Good morning to you. She says hello to you as well.
Hello. So you are on, see?
Yep. Didn't know I was on or not. Never know with these new fandangled things. So I made a big pot of beef stew today. I didn't film it. And so I had beef stew. There must be a gallon of that left. There's a heap of it left. But the wife finished off the rest of the lamb soup, which is nice. Beef stew, probably cooked it for about an hour and a half. It's tender. Yum. So anyone in here from Florida, particularly the East Coast, are you battening down the hatches? Hello, Jojo. Is this chat rated XYZ? Yes, it is for dyslexic people, Jojo. Room, welcome to it.
No, it's not R-rated. You don't do that.
Oh, there's a big
What
hurricane.
do you call it? Crossing
Crossing the Rubicon. Do you know what that means?
No.
Do you want me to tell you the story? Pull in a chair and gather round the fire, young lady.
Okay.
Crossing the Rubicon is in reference to Augustus Caesar, who was to cross the river Rubicon, which was a boundary of Rome. When he crossed that river, he was at war with Rome. And of course he won, ended up being Julius Caesar's, of course.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I like corned beef. Wife does not like corned beef,
No.
mainly because she worked in a nursing home and that was pretty much a staple, you know, corned beef, white sauce, carrots, potatoes, but I like it.
No. What turned me off corned beef
Pureed?
is I had to puree it for some of the residents in the nursing home. And when you puree corned beef, the smell, the texture and the taste is disgusting.
Well, all
It's
ends up in the stomach anyway.
wonder they never liked it.
But corned silverside is what it is. That's the portion of beef that you cook. It's already brined, of course. Gently boiled with carrots, celery. Yum. And then some potatoes. White sauce. Do you have white sauce with yours, Lewis? What is it? Saturday morning in the United States of America.
Yeah. They'll be gone in the morning.
Mustard sauce, yep. That's another cold corned beef and mustard is a nice little platter on its own.
Maybe I should lock the shed.
Is it not locked?
No, because you told me not to bother.
Where are the keys?
I put the locks in the hallway cupboard with the keys.
Well, I don't know why you didn't lock it.
Because you said it'd be not to bother, but just reading the posts and the coppers and that driving around.
Go and lock it. I'll film you doing it.
Have we got it? No, I will in a minute. Well, I'm presuming that door's been closed properly. Who did that?
I closed that door. The big one you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's only a bolt. You're like a worry bead.
I'm not a
When I
worried
said don't worry
bee.
about locking it, it was because they would be coming back. Yeah, you got to cook silverside really slow, but then it just cuts away tender. Yum. Used to have kid corned beef sandwiches. They were good. I think we had a bit of mustard on those too when I was a kid. There's lots of difference between mustards. Like there's American mustard, which is very mild and creamy. Australian mustard is a bit more stronger, a bit more tart, and English mustard can be very strong, but I think German mustard would be the strongest that we've had, isn't it?
Yeah.
German mustard is, they all make it slightly differently, different mustard seeds. But I remember as a kid you always used to get mustard in powder form, you know, mustard powder. Slow cookers are good. I don't know what it is, but I mean, if I use my big cast iron pots to slow cook, it's a bit quicker because you're doing it on top of the stove. But I know it sounds silly, but it does taste different. And I prefer doing slow cooking in a cast iron pot in preference to a slow cooker. Yeah, Coleman's is a really old brand. Has the big C, doesn't it, on the front of the packet? Coleman's, big C off memory. It used to come in like a tin, like a tobacco tin when I was a kid, like an oblong.
What's it called?
Actually, shaped a bit like that. You know what I mean? Long, rectangular type Coleman's mustard.
Oh yes, yes.
Remember the Coleman's mustard?
Yeah. Oh, that's English.
Hmm.
Yeah, Coleman's English.
Yeah, but I think they have different brands
Because
of it.
they put that in the English section.
In the supermarkets here you'll get, and I'm not kidding, 30, 40 different types of mustard. But mustard, cheese, corn, cold corned beef, yum.
You have to be in the mood for mustard.
It's like when you make a egg salad, as the Germans call it, which is just boiled eggs in like mayonnaise. Some people, I just call it egg salad, but I'll sometimes put some mustard, a little bit of mustard in there, along with a bit of dill, a bit of fresh parsley. Eggs are very versatile.
It's going to be interesting.
Do you want me to come down with you?
Yeah.
Because you're scared.
No.
She's scared. We're going down to the back shed. Dum, 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 dum.
In case I sink.
What?
It's in case I sink to my knees in the dirt.
That's all right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Princess Leia.
Look at the torch I have.
Yes. There's enough light there to do nothing. Have you heard of batteries? It's a modern invention.
I didn't even realise that it needed batteries.
All right, yeah, that's the thing about batteries. Can't even see what you're doing.
I brought the keys with me and I don't need them.
No, you don't need the keys. Is it locked?
Ta-da!
Well done.
Down in the smoky forest. Take you on an adventure. Might find some more treasures when we're doing this.
We're currently walking through our lounge room into the dining room. Floor's a bit dirty here, you might have to sweep. There you go, it's a bit of adventure.
There you go, people. How was that?
I'll show you the torch she was using. It's one of those little fandangle ones.
That has a good light. It's LED, but I didn't realise the battery was flat.
And it's a bit flat. It's hardly anything. The aliens have arrived. Look at me, people. Look at me.
button batteries.
Are they?
We've got some.
She would file it under pointy things.
I wouldn't.
She has this cataloguing system where I say, where's the information for the tax issue? She say, yeah, all the information for the tax is under income. Right, so it's under I, okay.
No.
You do, you always catalogue in what you think of the thing.
Excuse me, I have a good filing system. And file things good.
Followed by the words, just leave it with me a minute, I need to remember where I put it.
I used to run a library, remember?
Is that why it closed down?
Still going, thank you very much.
Yes, I do like egg salad sandwiches. They're yum. I forget what Americans call it when you cut a boiled egg in half, scoop out the yellow yolk, mix it up with a bit of curry powder, maybe a little bit of fresh parsley chopped up, and then put it back in the eggs. I think we just simply call them deviled eggs. That's what we call them. Whenever I used to go camping, I'd always take half a dozen boiled eggs. So they're already cooked. Just put them in the esky, forget about them. You know when you're just feeling hungry and you think, oh, I don't feel like cooking? Just get an egg, crack it open, get a bit of salt and pepper. Instant meal. No packaging required. I don't know if I'm live again. There's some weird thing. It's got a timer on this. This is Streamlabs. Now it's saying I've been running for 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
What?
I thought we'd be on for about 20 minutes, but here it says...
We have.
Oh, it says we've been on for 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
That means we've lost connection. I wonder when you walk down there with me.
I don't think so. Am I on? You just wave my hand in front. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, your hand.
Yeah,
I'm seeing
I'm on.
that.
It's weird. We went to the twilight zone. I probably saw nothing. I can hear you. Did you see us go down to the back shed, even though it was pretty dark because the wife didn't have any batteries for the torch? Is that the batteries there?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's...
Did you get the old one out?
Not yet. I don't want to take it out until I get this one.
I think they're a pain to get in and out. Or is it a different one?
Takes two.
So they're back to back?
Yeah, but I've only got one.
Oh, I'll take one of them. Can you take one out or not? Yeah, pretty sure it moves. See, like that. They were back to back. They go in that way. So if you give me one of the new ones to put it in.
I'm trying to
with
get
the braided bit. Okay, I'll just put it down here for now.
Yeah, because I can't get this out. I'm going to have to go get scissors. So it takes two.
Have you got two?
No, I've only got one.
That's right. I'll put one of the old ones back with.
I have to get scissors. You're not going to break through that. Remember which way you got it out and how that was sitting. I mean, I've had that torch for years.
It was a lie. Is this the same size? Oh, this is bigger.
Oh, after all that's the wrong battery.
I don't know. What I'll do...
I know you can't remember which way you had it.
No, I know which way I had it. That's how it follows. It should go like that. Back in. So try that. This is one of the new ones is in there with one of the old ones. Would you like me to do it?
I can do it.
That's what my daughter says. I can do it. I can do it. And then says, fix it. Says, fix it, whooper. She's got it on. And it's a bit brighter. There we are. Takes two of them batteries. It's a little bit brighter. It's not.
Now, which was the new one you put in?
The one on top.
Okay, so I can remember, buy some more tomorrow.
Wow.
I didn't see that. You had it at an angle.
Dun, 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 dun. 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Man, there's like 40 seconds delay.
Down the back near the new fencing where probably a pool will go, I haven't bothered putting in a retaining wall yet, so there's a little bit of a gap underneath the fencing where the little silky squeezes itself through to come over. But I eventually will have that all retained. Very much. We've had our evening coffee, so we're probably not going to have another one, are we?
No, because
You're away all night.
yeah, it doesn't keep me awake. It just keeps me awake as far as it makes me pee all night.
Say hello to a few people. Hello. Who's out there? Yes, I had a nice beef stew. It was yum. I actually like soups and stews during winter, but soon it will be over. In fact, tomorrow, the 1st of September in Australia, is spring. Yep. Which I'm sure it's different in the United States. I'm not sure what date you have the start of fall. Shouldn't be too far away, I guess. But for the first day of spring, we've got a storm coming, which is normal. Ella, where are you? Yes, it's a nice night actually. Got a cloud in the sky and I can see the stars. I wonder if they could see the stars if I pointed it up. You see any stars in the film?
I'd have to wait 40 seconds.
40 seconds?
Well, that's how long the delay is. No, I've got
Probably
black.
can't.
No, black.
You probably can't see the stars.
Nothing but blackness and the darkness.
So what are you doing today, Lois? What are you up to? Sunday tomorrow for us. That means it's Saturday for you today. A lot of people go shopping on Saturdays. We tend to just shop when we need to, don't we?
Yep.
Don't have a particular day. I did see a video of Awesome making meatballs, spaghetti,
Yum.
bolognese. Looked alright. Oh, you go by the Equinox, yep. Which, when you think about it, you should do, shouldn't you? We have 4 of them a year.
In a week we'll have pasta. So long it will take us to eat what you made today.
Oh no, I'll probably give a bit to Em. There's about 8 to 10 meals left over after I've had my bowl tonight. Huge. I remember as a kid in the UK, they followed the Equinox for events. So you'd have all the celebrations. So I think I told the story of my grandfather, even though he worked hard when he was a kid and a young man, they used to always have all these saint days, and you'd have the day off. And he told me it was about 116 days of the year that they had festivals. Well, you could go to them if you wanted to. Yes, it's our Father's Day tomorrow, the 1st of September, the first, which is the 31st. You see how things have become so commercial. One of the local supermarkets here announced, and it's on every day now, you can get
hot
cross buns every day of the year.
And fruit mince pies.
Fruit mince pies
usually only
every day of the year.
I didn't know that was a...
Yeah, well, they're there now. So that's commercialism gone mad.
Yeah, but it's like... It's nice when your kids are little and it's Mother's Day or Father's Day and they do little cards, whatever, and school stuff. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be just one day to show that respect and love you have for your parents.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm not really big on Father's Day, or what's her name?
It's Sunday here, 1:30 a.m. I'm 4 hours ahead of Perth. So you're in New Zealand. No, you're not. Where are you again, Lois? I'm trying to remember. But New Zealand's 4 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, and like I say to Seeds, he's not my father, so
No.
I don't get him a card, and I don't want a card off him on Mother's Day or anything special because I'm not his mother.
What I've done in the past, like when we've had animals, is I'll leave a little card and a little gift. We used to have a little dog called Pippi,
when
so
we've had animals.
she would give Mystic a Mother's Day card.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Well, you'll be looking forward to warmer weather for sure. Beautiful country, New Zealand. We'll definitely go back there one day, won't we?
Yep. Maybe not in winter though.
No, I reckon it'd be nice. Probably around before the start of winter, like the end of summer. Doesn't get as hot as it does here for summer. Yeah, I've got a lot of mates in New Zealand, and one thing they hate more than anything is that they don't mind the cold weather. They don't mind a bit of snow. They just get pissed off with the rain. Because some days, apparently, it doesn't stop. The big, long white cloud that you're famous for just drops down really low. It wets everything, keeps everything damp. But of course, in the next few months in New Zealand, It's lamb season. Actually, I've got some in the fridge. I picked up a bargain from supermarket. I get the offcuts when they cut a loin up. All right, there's so many loin, and there's always an odd shaped one length that they just put in a pile, and they call it lamb bones, but it's still a loin chop. So my butcher puts them all in a big container. I grab them, and I only get charged $7 a kilo compared to $45 a kilo for the perfectly shaped ones. Doesn't matter how it's shaped, it still tastes the same. Yeah, that lamb soup I make, you could have it in the summer too, you know, because it's a really light soup, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like a lamb. One thing about New Zealand, I remember when I was a kid, no one went to New Zealand for a holiday, no one. But now it's a great tourism place, which means there's lots of tourist dollars, which means there's lots of people employed. I don't know how big the tourist industry in New Zealand is, but it must be one of the major industries for sure. Looks like just you talking, Lewis. I think I'm seeing about 7 or 8 people in the room, but they're all lurking, having their morning coffee, wondering whether they should tell me to get stuffed. So what's one of the things that you can do during winter? Those to go out anywhere and do anything? I know it's miserable, raining, cold, wet, and all that sort of thing. But is there stuff you do as a family and go out somewhere? Yeah, I think at last count we've got like 24 million people in Australia, and I think there's about 2 million New Zealanders. It's not that they have dual citizenship, but they have residency in Australia, and I can do the same in New Zealand. I do not need a passport to go to New Zealand, even though I do take one. And you do have to state your intent when you land in New Zealand. What are you doing here? Just come here for holiday, mate. All right then, go on in, bugger off. But I know New Zealanders are entitled to, if they get residency, they get all the works and jerks. They get the free health, they get unemployment benefits. Why would they want to go back home? It's warmer here. Yeah, I love the beach. It's my favourite place, I must admit. The rivers I like, but the ocean's something very special. We used to do a lot of diving and loads of fishing. Haven't done a lot of that for a long time. It's not that I couldn't do it still, just haven't done it. Life takes over. Kids, grandkids. But it's a fantastic place to be, the ocean. Even if you're just walking on the edge of it, fossicking, having a bit of a look-see. Maybe chuck a line in, catch a fish. Do any fishing, Lewis? We might have a barbie tomorrow. Weather's going to stay nice. I've got a heap of these chops I told you about. Some sausages. Take some bread and butter down. Bit of sauce. Let them sizzle on the barbecue. We've got really good park facilities here. All free gas barbies, benches, chairs, covers. Say good day. No one's talking except Lois. They're all shy this morning.
It's a bit hard to see me because I'm so low down. Let's put it out on the...
I can fix that. I'll just put you this way.
No.
Yeah.
Put it the other way.
There we go.
No.
You're live all in living colour. Yeah. All my kids were like fish. I threw them in the ocean when they were just little babies and they all swim like fish.
Any lurkers out there? It's a big kiss for you.
Haven't seen Bully for a while. I know he paid for a wrench in that particular channel and lost it again. I
And
told him
what?
he'd lose it, but
I'm thinking
poor bugger.
he paid for it.
Yeah. It's like quicksand here. What are you bothering trying to fill it back in for? There's no point.
I don't know.
All people can see is your ass.
Oh, you're buffering.
It's probably your bum did the buffering.
It's stuck on there. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that moved quick.
So Saturday morning, most people are doing stuff, aren't they?
Yes.
Because they've stopped work. Well, I think most of the people that come to our room are working or retired, but they still do lots of catch up on the weekends. No bees?
Yeah, well, I'll end up out in the middle of the paddock if there is.
Right, just a few of them. See if they're there. Welcome to tonight's quiz. Yes. First question, question 1. Who was the second man to walk on the moon? Wasn't the guy that said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind? Wasn't him. Hello, Scarlett. Question 1. Who was the second man to walk on the moon?
A Russian.
No. Come on. Aldrin. No. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not. Nearly. It's Buzz. Of course, I was going to say Buzz. Buzz Aldrin. Well done, Scarlett. Second question. Same mission. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin walked upon the moon. Who didn't walk on the moon but was part of the same mission? What was his name? And the clue is something to do with sheep. That's the clue of the name. Something to do with the sheep.
Merino.
That's a good answer, but it's wrong.
Wool.
No, not John Glenn. Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. They went down in the Eagle. Then they went back to the module. And inside that module is a man who didn't walk on the moon because he just went around the moon over and over again until they caught up with him. Then they went home. You have 10 seconds to answer. Who is the only man on the mission that landed on the moon that never walked on the moon?
I don't know.
5 seconds. Alan Shepard stayed in the module while they landed in the Eagle. They kicked the sand around for a while, bounced up and down, picked up a few rocks, and then the Eagle went. And Alan was going around in the module and they caught up with them. That's right. And then they spat the Eagle away eventually, pointed it towards Earth, and come home. Last space question. Who was the first man to go into space? What was his name? Wasn't an American.
A Russian.
Yeah, it was a Russian. Nope, I don't think anyone's going to get it. Boris sounds good. Not Boris, though. Boris worked at butcher shop. Brother went first man in space. That really pissed off the administration in America. Damn, Russians got there before us. Let's nuke them. Niet. And Borscht, want some Borscht? Scarlet? Yuri Gagarin, that's right. Very brave man when you think about it. Fired him up into a rocket, let him spin around the Earth for a while and come home. Rorsky. I've had borscht. I don't like it. Cold beetroot soup, not for me. I like beetroots, don't get me wrong. Da is gut. You get away with those two words in Russia, Scarlet. Niet and da. Or of course if you're leaving you can say das sverdanya. See, we all speak Russian, just very limited.
Or vodka.
Or vodka. They don't say V, it's vodka. It's like the Germans. They don't say W. That's even names are called Wilhelm.
Wurst.
Yeah, but Wilhelm, it's William, but
They do pronounce the W. Wilhelm.
placebo. Yeah, I've tried it. I didn't mind it.
No, I don't like
But
it.
I wouldn't make it, like I say, I wouldn't make it as a cold soup. It's like vichy soir, which is French, which is really just the same thing as leek and potato and bacon soup that we have hot. They just let it go cold and they blitz it, so it's cold.
No.
It's called vichy soir. So if you're not a good person in Russia, we call you a vanka. a big vanka. It's like in the US you've got tomato ketchup. That's it, vichy soir. You've got ketchup, but in Australia we have ketchup and tomato sauce. What's the difference? Well, ketchup is a lot thicker. Tomato sauce is not as thick. Still got a viscosity about it, but ketchup's like blick. Risknik kaputsa. Sound like your car's not running that well. Kaput. It's interesting when you go to other countries, though. Gazpacho.
Oh, cold corn. Cold tomato soup. Oh,
Gazpacho is a spicy soup, I think, off memory. Cold. Gazpacho. Is it spicy? I mean, off memory. I think I've had it. And I'm pretty sure it's peppery and... Never been that big on cold soups, though. I think it depends where you get it, Scarlett. For me, when I do make my tomato soup, there's black pepper definitely goes in there. My wife doesn't like tomato soup.
I used to love it.
I love it.
Well, I don't like a lot of too much tomato based anyway.
Yeah. There's a few other cold soups. I'm trying to remember what they are.
Celery.
No. I've never had a cold celery. I know I've had an asparagus type soup that was cold. These are all fancy la-di-da soups, Scarlett. You know what I'm talking about. Not something you'd invite the family around and said, here, sit down, have some carpaccio and have some cold soup, borscht, yum, yum, yum. Cold fruit soup. I do like fruit. Actually, probably what we don't show you is that we eat tons of fruit. Bananas, apples, always there is blueberries in the house. Strawberries.
Oranges,
Actually, I might go and get some strawberries. They're yum, aren't they?
I'll go in a minute.
They're at their peak at the moment, strawberries, so they're cheap and yum.
Well, that'd be different. Cold
Rhubarb. I don't mind. So I've had a pudding. It was made out of like sponge cake, custard, and rhubarb. Not a trifle, but it was just those three. That's yum. I love rhubarb. Fresh out of the garden. Takes you probably, in honesty, if you've got really good soil, it's the second season of rhubarb that you get the best rhubarb. All the citrus are peaking here, and all the berries. Yep, that's the one I used to grow. Massive bloody plants I ate, didn't I? Those rhubarbs. But you can get good stalks in the first season, but you know what I'm saying, Scarlett. Second, third, and then forever, it just keeps producing rhubarb. But you've got to have an area in the garden that you don't let it take over. Yeah, don't move them. That's the saying. It's one of the things that doesn't transplant very well at all. But you can be harsh with it. You can cut it right back. Doesn't need much feeding. And in fact, the leaves are perfect for pesticide. Yes, I can eat them raw, actually. A lot of people don't eat raw rhubarb, but I don't mind it. But do not eat the leaves, because it will kill you. It's like tomato leaves. People say, oh, you can eat tomato leaves. No, they will kill you as well. It's done for a very good reason. Mother Nature's very smart. So if insects and animals don't eat the foliage, because it will kill them, the foliage allows the plant to produce flowers and forever keep producing the same plant. That's why lots of leaves of plants are deadly. Not to be mean to humans, but it's meant to protect the plant. Because you can eat lots of leaves of different vegetables. Like a lot of people don't know you can eat, you know, when you get your...
Oh, I have to check that on YouTube.
What?
Cement. Scarlett makes cement bathtubs from the leaves.
I haven't even seen that text.
Yeah, you didn't see it.
No.
But it's in the bathroom for my face.
Yeah. One of our sons has got a quite sensitive skin, so he uses that. My grandfather used to make a syrup out of lemon blossoms, elderberry flowers, you know where I'm going with this, Scarlett, and get the essential oils out of them. And then that was used in making soap. So the combination of the natural oils in blossoms, flowers, even rose petals, they were all used and gently heated. And so it would eventually just boil down and release even rosehip. Well, there you go, you just jumped ahead of me there, Scarlett. Cold remedy. Rosehip was used for a remedy for cold because it's masses. I think rosehip is the most potent in vitamin C. That's why you can see rosehip syrups in the chemists and pharmacies today. But there's loads of things like that were quite normal when I was a kid that people would have. Yep, lemon. It's one of the natural antiseptics, along with... There's three things that I remember that stood out. One was lemon, that was used not only for that reason, for medical reasons, but for cleaning. Like lemon and water will clean a lot of... and vinegar is the other one I was going to mention. Lemon, vinegar and honey. They're the three things I remember as a kid, particularly my grandmother telling me about what they were used for. How you could use lemons and how you could use honey and how you could use vinegar. All three of them are natural antiseptics, first of all. There's a load of plants that you can use. I had a book. It was called Plants That Can Help and Plants That Can Harm. Very good book. Citric acid, yep. Even a lot of people still to this day use lemon rind that you gently grate, orange rind, lime, any rind of citrus. That's where all the vitamin C is. It's like vegetables. When I make any soups or stews, I won't take the skin off. If there's a daggy bit on a carrot, I'll cut that off, of course. You know what I mean? But when it comes to what I did tonight, and I didn't bother filming it, I made a massive beef stew. It was so yum. But all the vegetables, all of them, have their skin on. Cut up, but they have the skin on. Because that's where a lot of the goodness in vegetables in particular, and fruits, is where it's at. And you think most people just peel carrots, take all the skin off, and that's 70 to 80% of the goodness. Oh, I love lemon cake. Our daughter-in-law makes a good one. She makes a lemon, what's it called?
I don't know what it's called.
Sort of glazed. Yum. I could definitely have one of them with a cup of coffee, Scarlett. Without question. Nice, good cup of coffee. The only thing I do peel in you call them rutabaga, but sometimes the skin's a bit daggy on them, a bit harsh and hard. But parsnips, I don't peel them. Swedes, just cut them up. But rutabaga, or turnip is what we call it here. It's, you know, you've grown turnip, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes it's nice, you get the baby ones, it's good. But when they get a bit old and a bit buffy, the skin tends to like curl a little bit, and all the bits of dirt and daggy bits, and yeah, I don't know why you Americans call them rutabagas, but they're turnips. That's about the only one I would peel, and I'm basically just peeling off the lumpy bits, you know what I mean? The potatoes, carrots, there's nothing I really peel. Sweet potato I cook with the skin on. Sometimes the wife eats the skin of the pumpkin. I eat it all the time. I love roasted pumpkin skin because it's nutty. Roasted fennel. Yeah, I'll cook a bit of fennel seed in oil, like when I'm making stir fries or curry. You know what I mean, Scarlett? Fennel powder I don't like. Fennel seeds I do, because they... And I used to sell the fennel seeds as well. Remember my Italian friend, his father, he used to grow sunflowers. Now, he would make oil, but he also used to roast them. And I'd often see him sitting at the table having a bit of vino and crunching, and I'd say, what are they? He said, try one. So I ate them. Bloody beautiful. Roasted pumpkin seed. Yum. Pepitas.
What's pepitas?
Little tiny green seeds.
Oh, that's what I like in my cereal.
Yeah, she has
I
those.
love them.
You have them in your cereal.
Battery's low too.
Yeah, particularly if I roast, I leave all the pumpkin. I'll cut pumpkin up into wedges or chunks, but I always roast it with the skin on. You sometimes eat it, don't you?
I do eat it.
Pumpkin skin.
Yeah.
I thought you used to leave a bit on your plate. I've grown massive sunflowers. There's sunfoliar. There's about 10, 12 species that I used to have, but I just stuck with 2. Sunbird is another one. That's a good sunflower seed. But your plants get so big. I mean, I remember seeing them, I'm not kidding, 12, 14 foot tall sunflower. And you virtually had to destroy the plant to get the seeds. It's so big and so heavy. In the end, of course, they just the pure weight of them would pull down the head of the flower. There's 2 or 3 I like in Australia. We've got Queensland blue pumpkin. We have one that is really nutty and yummy called Jarrahdale. That's really good. Jap pumpkin is not too bad. But the best pumpkin to make pumpkin soup, and I'll argue blue in the face with anyone, is butternut pumpkin. It just has the right flavour for pumpkin soup. Be right back. Phone. That must be your sunflower supplier online. Hello? Got 400 kilo of pumpkin seed? But seeds were one of the first things as hunter-gatherers that they used to, that's what they would gather. There's not much of, people get confused. Wheat is just a weed, believe it or not. Ryegrass, all the different grasses you see that grow little heads of little seeds. If you wanted to, it'd take you a long time to gather a meal, but that's what we used to do as a species, is gather wild seed. And that's how they believe man actually ended up settling in certain places, is that they figured that they could plant the seed to grow more plants and have a sustainable living in one area.
Okay, inside.
Actually, it's probably one of the best ones to store, butternut. All pumpkin store as well. At the end of the season, if you just let your pumpkin vines get to the withering stage, but you then cut them off, and just store them in a cool, dark place. And I swear to you, I've done this. I've had pumpkin for over a year stored and still good. It's one of the ultimate foods. Come the apocalypse, believe me, you don't want to store potatoes. What you can't do with a pumpkin, you can basically do what you would do with a potato. You can make pumpkin chips, mashed pumpkin, roast pumpkin. And the beauty about regrowing pumpkin is you don't need potatoes, you just need little seeds. And I can tell you now, pumpkin seeds will last many lifetimes. It's been proven. They've found caches of pumpkin seeds, different varieties than what we used to today. They're more like, you've just said it, more like the acorn, the smaller ones, and the paddy pans, but they're the old varieties actually, they're the originals. Hello, Buttercup. We are both good. But yeah, if you wanted to store pumpkin seeds, 10 generations from now, your family could still use them. And I kid you not, they will last thousands of years. They're just perfectly designed of any vegetable. Wild rice is the thing, expensive just mix grass seeds. Well, yeah, literally I suppose it's the same, but wild rice takes forever to bloody cook. Yum, that sounds good.
My mum used to love wild rice, and Mum used to love black rice. That took hours.
All grains are wild rice in their original form. The grains they found in Egyptian tombs is wheat, but not the wheat that we have today. It's not the same wheat. I was saying when you were getting on the phone, Scarlett, the original, well, it's been about, look, I mean, you'll have anthropologists and people say otherwise, but it's only been about 3,000 years that mankind has affected the landscape. In other words, for most of the time we were hunter-gatherers. And people say, they settled, certain groups did settle many thousands of years before, 3,000 years ago, but about 3,000 years ago, universally, around the globe, people were growing crops and then refining them. In other words, natural selection is how we get our wheat today, unless it's genetically modified, of course. But like I say, the grains, one of the main grains was rye. You know, like your rye bread. It stores really well. Rye's really good.
Buffering.
Am I buffering?
Well, it was for me.
Am I still buffering?
Yeah.
It's fascinating, the story of grains, because I don't know what it was, but one of the anthropologists said there were that were eaten regularly, over 1,000 species of grain. That's from 3,000 years ago till today. And even now, we eat quite a huge variety of grains.
I think I will go in.
If you ever seen rice grow, you think you're just going through a pack of weeds. All these floppy weed heads coming up. Even bamboo. We eat bamboo. In fact, today, around the globe, bamboo fibre, like cotton, has taken over just about everything. It's very versatile. It's strong. They even make underwear out of bamboo. Did you know that? Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's not the hard bamboo. Of course, it's pulverised and pulped and made into a fibre. Not fond of pumpkin, possibly due to being a Brit. Pumpkins are not on our shores. Yeah, you're more of a marrow country, aren't you, Buttercup? I don't like marrow, to be honest. It's just an overgrown, zucchini, really. See, I'm an ex-Pom myself, and I can tell you this is the staple diet of Poms when I was a kid. Potatoes. You can have roast potatoes.
Oh, the black rice was... Oh, my mum, it was actual black rice, not octopus
It is.
ink on it. No.
It is actually stronger than the steel. It's quite incredible. In some of the Asian countries we've been to, some of the buildings they built out of bamboo are staggering. Squid ink makes me get wicked heartburn. Don't eat squid ink then, Scarlett. Well, there's always pumpkin in our house, always. We have it all the time. Roast pumpkin, you can't beat it. It's yum, goes nutty. You have the crunchy bit of the skin if you're willing to try eat that. It's yum. All right, you have a good one, Scarlett. If the pool boy is there, you have to go. Let's be honest. Have a good day.
I'm having this, I'm going to go in.
Yeah, I'm going in after this one. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, English, I remember sausages, eggs, chips, potato, bread, fried bread, porridge. Never had cereals when I was a kid. No such thing as cereals, just porridge. Stews, soups. Ever had a bad day? What you do when you have a really bad day is that you just get a small hammer. You take one of your shoes off and one of your socks, and you place your big toe just on the chair in front of you, and you hit it really hard. Now, you might not think this works, but you forget about the bad day because the toe kills you for the next 12 hours. That's all you think about is a sore toe. It's brilliant. So all the bad thoughts you're having about a bad day disappear. Mind you, the toe is a bit sore, but it's a price you pay to reach perfection. Buttercup, I have an old saying, you've got to go with it, and that is, you can have a bad day, you've got to have an average week, but you've got to have a good month and a brilliant year. A bad day's okay in the big picture.
Wow, that's a noisy train.
That's the ghost train. My mum used to do that to us kids when I was a little kid. You come up with something, cut my finger, a cut my finger. So she'd stand on your foot and she'd say, that'll take your mind off your finger. And I'm not kidding you, she used to do it. Because then we never used to go up and say, oh, no, I'm good. Wouldn't say anything about a cut finger. Have you hurt your arm? No, it's fine. But it's on right angles. I know it looks broken, but it's fine.
We all have bad days, Buttercup. It happens. You'll have a good day tomorrow.
No, you can have a bad day. You can have an average week. You could have a good month. Just get a door. You know when the door closes, the jam?
Oh, stop
Just
it.
slide your toe in there, Buttercup. And just very quickly close your eyes and go. Trust me, it works. It's life. That's what people say. Now, there's lots of shit amongst the sugar. Let's be honest, Buttercup. Being English, you know that saying real well. Got to get through the shit to get to the sugar.
Okay. I'll stomp on his foot for you so you don't have a bad day.
Mind you, we all get them. We all get the grey days. Must be cooling off there by now. I do remember in the Black Forest in Yorkshire, where my grandfather used to live, 1 September was a heat wave, and this was 67, 68, hottest on record. It was unbelievable. And then I come to Australia and thought, nah, it was just warm there. It's hot here. It's funny, you can pick out an Englishman when you're in England. Their skin is near completely white. And so when they come to Australia, they stand out. It's like they're walking around with no hat on, no sun cream, a vest, because Englishmen like wearing white vests for some reason, shorts, and by the end of their first day in the sun, they look like a cooked lobster, and they can't move because they're in pain, and they're dying. Heat stroke. There's one of your famous chefs loves Australia, Rick Stein. He said when he first came to Australia, it was something like October, and he got into the airport lounge and he had a light t-shirt on and shorts, and he bought some thongs so he could look like an Aussie. He went outside in Sydney or Melbourne, wherever he landed, and everyone's wearing jumpers, jeans, tracksuits, coats, and he's like, these people are mad. It's beautiful here.
Buttercup asked you, did it take you long to get used to Australian weather?
Not really, because I was young, so I acclimatised pretty quickly. I know my older sisters didn't like it, but to give you an idea, we left Heathrow Airport eventually after about 17 hours because it was 4 feet of snow, and they were de-icing the planes, and these were old Boeing, you know, with the props. And we eventually took off 4 feet of snow, so it was really cold. And then we landed in Perth eventually after about 6 milk run stops. Bombay, Calcutta, you name it, Sri Lanka. We eventually got to Australia. And we got off and it was about midnight. I didn't know it was midnight because the lights at the airport, I thought it was daytime. And when I got off the plane, I thought, wow, it's pretty hot here. And we arrived in Australia in January of 1969. January, February, hottest months in Australia. And so we walked through the airport. I'm thinking, geez, warm. And then I realised it was nighttime when we got into the airport. It was dark outside, but the lights of, because you used to get off the plane with steps, go onto the tarmac. It was 101 degrees at midnight in Perth when we landed. And they had what they had to call a reception centre for people that just came to Australia who emigrated. It was in Nollamara. And for 3 days, when I got there, and I was hot and I was sweating and but everyone else was lying like shags on a rock, slowly panting. And that was in the air conditioner.
I'm going in.
But we moved straight out to a place called Three Springs in WA, which is in the desert. So I acclimatised pretty fast. His average daytime temperatures are 105, 110, 115. But you get used to it. I'm the only one in my family that tans up really fast. My sisters are still quite pale. So it's you do acclimatise. I think if you're younger and you go to another country, you have the advantage of not having a great knowledge of your previous country, so that would help. And a lot of my family still sounds a bit English. I don't sound anything like an Englishman. But yeah, the level of heat is it's different all around Australia. I've lived in all the cities and in country areas. In Darwin, for example, is way up north. It's very tropical, and the coldest it gets is about 25, and the hottest it gets is about 32. So it's very much near the equator. And then we've lived in Hobart, where the average daytime temperature is 0, I believe.
Yes.
It's freezing.
And
And in my state, like, this is cold for us. We think it's cold, but it's about 15 degrees Celsius. No, it's always, I've got friends that came from Joburg, and they say it's nowhere near as hot back in South Africa. But it's like we had a temperature, the cottage garden that we planted, it was 30 degrees Celsius, about 88, 90 degrees. I had a jumper on. I'm not lying, didn't I? I had a jumper on. Eventually took it off because I was digging holes and all that, but that's the extent of how the heat does not affect us. You know, if it's 30 degrees, I've got a few Canadian friends in particular who'd be lying inside with the air conditioner, panting, just like I did when I first came to Australia.
It's going in.
But we're just about done now. We're finished.
Yeah, it's
Good
going
catching
in.
up with you, Buttercup. Hope that the winter is not as bad as they're saying it could be. I look at almanacs, but I look at the obvious. When you have a very hot summer, it's usually followed by a very cold winter. Now, we've had a fairly mild winter, but cold for us in our circumstance. But we know we're going to have a hot summer because that 30 degrees in August is the hottest ever recorded. So our summer doesn't start until January in real effect. So in August, we get nearly 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So we know we're going to have a hot summer. And every time it's really hot, it's very dry. I'll tell you what, I'll give you another remedy, Buttercup. Here's the better remedy. When you're having a bad day, make sure on hand is copious amounts of chocolate. Lots of it. You know, just so by the end of the day you've got chocolate stains up near your eye and on your forehead. That much chocolate will make a bad day disappear. And I'm not making it up. Even the Incas knew, way back in Aztec times, chocolate was a medicinal purpose. So if you're having a crappy day, get a few pounds of chocolate into you. Yeah. All right, till next time. From the boss.
Love yous.
And I like yous, all right? You're becoming far too pushy. Have a good day. Bye.